Long-range bombers over the Atlantic. A report of the bomber squadron Condor's operations. This is the introduction to a 1943 training film about the use of Focke-Wulf 200 Condors as long-range bombers in the Battle of the Atlantic. It's good, but you guys deserve better. I've got the original raw footage that was used to produce this film, which is of much better quality and about 33% longer, which we'll take a look at. This fits in nicely with the U-boat material we were looking at before. But before we get started, please subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. But the U-boats were not always used as offensive weapons. In this graphic representation of an engagement, a U-boat has come into contact with a convoy of about 30 ships. But in this instance, rather than attacking the convoy itself, it radioed back to the base, the convoy's location, once again using the coordinate system. The information was then passed on to the long-range bomber formations based in France. At this point, the U-boat turns away and leaves the convoy undiscovered. The targets of these modern long-range bombers are ships around 1,500 kilometers west of Ireland. It usually takes 7 or 8 hours of flying to reach the target area, and therefore it is necessary to carry huge amounts of fuel. The day before the scheduled night operation, the commander of the unit receives his final instructions. The Focke-Wulf 200 Condor was capable of carrying a bomb load of 1,000 kilograms. The plane had a crew of 5, and when used as a transport, could carry 30 fully armed troops. It had a length of 23.45 meters, a wingspan of 32.85 meters, and a height of 6.3 meters. It had an empty weight of 17,005 kilograms and a maximum takeoff weight of 22,714 kilograms. The plane had a range of 3,000 kilometers. In addition to being used as a long-range bomber and transport, the Focke-Wulf 200 also saw duty transporting VIPs, including Hitler and Himmler. As early as October 1939, Admiral Raeder was informing Hitler of the need to have naval and air forces working together to reconnoiter and attack enemy naval forces. During Operation Vesseübung, with the invasion of Denmark and Norway, it became evident that even a limited force could cause considerable damage. France was defeated in June of 1940, and the Germans were able to move both their U-boats and bomber formations to within much easier striking distance of the vital transport routes. Finally, on January 6th of 1941, KG-40, or Kampfgeschwader 40, was officially assigned to this task. Although effective, especially in the early years of the war, KG-40 had some problems. First of all, there were never very many bombers on hand, which meant that often when convoys were located, having sufficient numbers to attack effectively could not be guaranteed. Also, the Focke-Wulf 200 was fitted with relatively antiquated targeting sights, which meant that low-level bombing runs was necessary. It also required relatively clear weather conditions to be successful. The bomber's engines were also underpowered, which meant that should one or more of its 4 engines cut out, the result could easily be fatal. Finally, the convoy is spotted. The clouds of smoke coming from their smokestacks is unmistakable. The planes have arrived. In the first wave, there are 3 Focke-Wulf 200 long-range bombers which are able to surprise the convoy by attacking out of the sun and manage to sink 2 ships. In the second wave, there are 3 bombers once again, but this time there's a corvette which is able to defend the ships and disrupt the attack. The bombers are still able to sink 1 ship. At this point in the engagement, the convoy splits in half. The larger group is situated farther to the west, and the smaller group to the east. With the third attack, which takes place 1 day and 14 hours after the initial engagement, 1 ship is sunk and 2 more are badly damaged. The group farther to the west is not engaged. All stations prepare for the attack. All onboard weapons should be ready for action. The bomb bay doors are opened. After completing the bombing run, the Condors come around again to get a closer look at the damage they've caused. Then they leave the enemy. This is an interesting pamphlet about the U-boat that was produced in 1940. It just gives basic information, has a nice diagram which explains each of the compartments and parts of the U-boat. It's called What Everybody Should Know About the German U-Boat. Short history. Has 39 pages.